Hey guys, it's Mark again here with the DFW ESK8 Alliance, back at you with another ESK8 101 session. So what you just saw was two examples of how to make a 90-degree turn on a wide sidewalk. The first one is obviously the incorrect way, and then the second one was the correct way to do it. This is one of the things I've seen be an issue on some of the newer riders, so I just want to clear things up. I'll be going over a more detailed explanation here in a second, but there's a couple of things that come into a good turn, because most of the problem is that a lot of people new to ESK8, they don't understand the bushing setup, the truck setup, and the riding technique. Okay, to be able to make those 90-degree turns, you can't have your bushing super tight. So to get the most out of your ESK8, you should be able to do both: ride really fast in a straight line, but also be able to carve and turn with the same exact bushing setup, and it is possible. The reason you're tight, if you find yourself tightening your truck so much, it's because your bushings are incorrect, and I'll go over another video about that to discuss bushings. But right now, this is just the riding technique. Basically, and you'll hear me say this again here in a bit, in the first one I came in too narrow, and of course you're not going to make that turn with how the board is. The second video is coming out wide, coming in tight, and coming out smooth. So here, I'll go over the explanation here in this little overhead view. Oh, and one more thing before I forget, there are some turns that are just too damn narrow that you can't really make. Usually you can just plow through the corner. If you have AT tires or maybe even cloud wheels, you can just cut through the corner, through the grass, and get back on the pavement. Watch out for the depressions in the grass where it exposes the concrete. Sometimes tall grass will hide that, and you'll run into it just like a curb and go flying. So be careful with that. Your things you can do if it's like just light patches of grass or solid packed dirt. But that's one of the reasons why I recommend AT tires for around this area, is just mainly it just gives you more options to ride over different terrains. But yeah, to the super high-tech overhead view. Hey guys, so I'm here with our ultra high-tech visual simulation generator thingy, which is basically just Google Earth on my phone. And I'm going to go over making these turns here and giving you an overhead visualization. So what I demonstrated earlier was what I saw in people making the incorrect turn. So typically what I see riders do is, say they're starting from here and they're wanting to go over here, right? What I typically see them doing, I like to change the colors here, don't mind that, is they'll be hugging the inside line, and then when they get to the corner they try to turn, and oh look, they can't make the turn. So let's fix that. So I'm going to be stealing a page out of the racing books, you know, NASCAR, F1, all that stuff, on these turns. I'll be using some of their terms, and they're pretty common terms. I know we're not racing; these are just, you know, low-key group rides, but it's good to know the technique, and I really would like to have people ride safer and have a smoother ride. So let's get started. So first things first. So we're starting from the bottom here, and actually, let's do this. So we're starting from the bottom here, and I'm just going to show you how the line looks like. And the line is just basically the path you're going to take. You know, a visual path that you're going to take here. So we're starting right here. So start off wide. You're going to come in tight, and then finish off wide. Just like that. That is a smooth, well, application-wise, it's a smooth line. On my little doodle here, not so much, but you get the idea. So let's go over what happened here. So we're over here starting off, right? So to initiate it, first off, you need to be able to assess and see the path ahead of you, because you don't want to deal with it at the very last minute. What you want to do is assess it ahead of time. So say you already see you're coming up on the turn. So when you see it, you're going to start what's called the break point, the braking point. And the braking point isn't so much of like pushing the limits and all that stuff. Basically what it is you're literally applying your brakes to slow down. Okay? One of the things I see a lot of new riders come in is when I'm applying my braking here at the brake point, they tend to want to pass me. I mean, for some reason, I don't know why people want to pass you on these turns. It's fine if you're racing, but in group rides, it can get kind of dangerous. So when you're coming up on a corner, do not pass anybody. Give each other plenty of space, okay? All right, so we're at the break point, and once we get comfortable enough, and there's no set distance for a break point, okay? It's completely dependent on your speed and your skill, and no one can really tell you where the break point is exactly. You have to figure it out yourself through practice, okay? All right, so we apply the brakes, we're slowing down. Now we're going to start turning in. That's called the track in. So that starts right there where you start your turn. And your goal on this is to get as close as you can to what's called the apex, which is right here. The apex is the closest point to the inside line right there. If you can squeeze out every inch of that, go ahead and do that. And that is just pretty good practice there. You don't have to be on top of it, but enough to get through the turn safely. And after that is called the track out, where you basically just get out of there. Get out of the turn there. Now, it doesn't have to be on the opposite end of the concrete. You can go a little tighter if you want. The important part is, like I said right here, the break point, which is right here, the track in, and the apex. After that, I mean, since this isn't racing, it's really not a big deal. But like I said, it's good practice, it's smooth, and it's a lot more efficient and safer. But for some reason, like I said, around this area right here, people like to try to pass you. This is a bottleneck. Do not pass anybody on here, okay? It is just not safe. Give each other space, and you do all that NASCAR F1 passing stuff some other time. But that's basically what you do on the 90-degree turn here. And also, there are other turns that the concept still applies. This is a 90-degree turn. If you come up on a turn that kind of turns slowly and then turns sharps at the end, then you kind of got to adjust to that. The apex would be a little bit later. You'll probably have your break point a little later as well, but the concept still applies. Same thing. If the turn is really sharp all of a sudden, your apex is going to be sooner, your break point is going to be sooner, and you just have to act accordingly from there. And like I said before, a lot of these turns are based on many factors. Making your line, like I said just right here, making the line. Your trucks and your bushings, which we'll go over again in another video. And then just your experience. Just knowing how fast you can turn at different speeds. Okay, one more thing I wanted to cover before finishing out this video. Simple little thing, but I'm sure people will ask about it. So, like we've been doing, say you're starting from the bottom and want to make a left-hand turn. And say you're on this side of the concrete. What do? Well, same concept applies. Say you're starting right here. Basically, you swing out. Okay? And what I mean by swing out is come to the other side of the concrete and then start your break point, your track in, your apex, hit the apex, and then track out. Just something that simple. But make sure when you do swing out, make sure you look around you for, I don't know, people that aren't paying attention, new riders. Make sure there's no one around you coming up in your path, because the last thing you want is collide with someone. So, like I said, just swing out, break point, track in, hit the apex, and then track out, and then go have a happy group ride, celebrate with some cheeseburgers or something, and just overall have a safe ride, okay? So that's pretty much all I got for you today. Go ahead and like this video if you enjoyed it. If I didn't cover something, or if you know something I don't know, go ahead and leave in the comments and we'll discuss. I mean, I'm still learning stuff here, so I'm learning something new every day in ESK8. And if you haven't already, go and subscribe to this YouTube page. I'm gonna try to come out with some other ESK8 101 videos going over gear, safety, riding, ESK8 parts. But yeah, otherwise, have a safe ride and keep the stoke going.